What if one small, almost imperceptible choice could ripple through your life, changing its entire direction? What if the hum of the fluorescent lights in a soulless office, the dull throb of a migraine brought on by endless spreadsheets, wasn't the sum total of existence? Elias Vance knew that hum all too well. It was the soundtrack to his days, a constant, low-frequency reminder of a life lived on someone else's terms. He sat at his cubicle, the stale coffee clinging to the air, watching the clock tick with a despairing slowness. Each second was a whisper of bills unpaid, dreams deferred, and a quiet, gnawing frustration that felt too heavy to bear. The city outside his window, once a vibrant tapestry of possibility, now felt like a concrete cage, its towering buildings casting long shadows over his ambitions. He wasn't living. He was merely existing, caught in a cycle he couldn't quite name, let alone break. The grind was relentless. Elias's days were a monotonous blur of data entry and polite, empty conversations. He worked hard, often staying late, but the numbers on his paycheck barely covered the growing pile of envelopes on his kitchen counter. Rent, utilities, the constant low-level anxiety of an almost empty savings account. It was a weight that pressed down on him, stealing his breath. Every morning, the alarm felt like a summons to another day of feeling trapped, of watching the clock, waiting for the momentary escape of the evening, only for it to be swallowed by exhaustion and the same anxieties. He felt like a cog in a machine, easily replaced, his efforts seemingly leading nowhere. One sweltering Saturday, while helping his aunt clear out his late grandfather's attic, Elias stumbled upon a small, unassuming book. Its cover was worn smooth, the title faded but still legible. Think and Grow Rich. He almost tossed it aside, convinced it was just another dated self-help relic. But something, perhaps the sheer desperation of his situation, made him open it. He flipped through the yellowed pages, skeptical, till a particular sentence jumped out at him. Underlined heavily in what must have been his grandfather's hand. There is one quality which one must possess to win, and that is definiteness of purpose, the knowledge of what one wants, and a burning desire to possess it. Elias read it again. Definiteness of purpose. He hadn't felt anything definite in years, only a vague longing for something better. The simple, direct language was a stark contrast to the complex, overwhelming feeling that defined his life. It was a tiny spark in a vast darkness, a suggestion that perhaps, just perhaps, there was another way. His life, however, continued its downward spiral before it could ascend. The hum of the office lights soon faded into the harsh glare of an eviction notice taped to his apartment door. The old car, a faithful but weary companion, finally gave up, leaving him stranded and facing a tow bill he couldn't afford. The weight of it all became unbearable. He remembered staring at the mostly empty cupboards in his kitchen, the dull ache of hunger in his stomach mirroring the hollowness in his chest. The phone call to his parents asking for help felt like the lowest point. The quiet shame of it stung more than any bill. He was adrift, without a paddle, watching the shore recede into the distance. This was rock bottom, a place where the only way to look was up. He returned to the tattered book, the pages now creased in his own hands. The concepts of persistence and definite purpose began to resonate differently. It wasn't about wishing for things. It was about knowing precisely what one wanted and refusing to quit until it was achieved. Elias started small, late at night, after work. He cleared a tiny corner of his cramped living room, pushing aside boxes, making space. I had always loved working with his hands, the feel of wood, the smell of sawdust. His definite purpose began to crystallize, to create unique, handcrafted wooden pieces, starting with small, functional art. He didn't have a workshop, just a few basic tools inherited from his grandfather. But he had a burning desire to turn raw material into something beautiful, something valuable. He committed to working on his craft for at least an hour every night, no matter how tired he was. He researched wood types, watched countless online tutorials, and practiced simple cuts and carvings. Each consistent, small action, driven by his definite purpose, felt like a tiny victory. He learned from his mistakes, each imperfect, cut a lesson in patience and precision. He wasn't just working, he was building a habit of relentless, focused effort. One evening, after weeks of painstaking work, he finished his first truly custom piece, a simple, elegantly carved wooden coaster with a unique grain pattern. It wasn't perfect, but it was his. He felt a quiet pride, a feeling that had been absent for so long. He took a shaky photo and posted it online, almost expecting it to be ignored. He told himself it was just practice. Then an unexpected message appeared. Not an order for the coaster, but an inquiry about a custom-designed small jewelry box. Something intricate and specific. The request was modest, the payment small, but it was real. It was a genuine interest in something he had created with his own hands. He took the order, feeling a surge of nervous excitement he hadn't known in years. He poured every ounce of his newfound discipline into that box, ensuring every detail was perfect. The feeling of packaging it up, knowing it was going to someone who valued his work, was profound. That first custom order was more than just a transaction. It was a testament, proof to Elias that his small, consistent efforts were not in vain. It showed him that a definite purpose, backed by unyielding persistence, truly could create something from nothing. He remembered Napoleon Hill's painstaking dedication to understanding success. Hill spent over 20 years studying the habits and philosophies of the most successful individuals of his time. From Andrew Carnegie to Henry Ford, consistently finding that a clear, definite purpose backed by unwavering persistence was a common thread among them. Elias's small woodworking business began to grow, one custom order at a time. His first significant sale, a beautifully crafted small desk for a home office, wasn't a sudden fortune, but it was enough to cover 2 months' rent and replace his broken-down car with a modest, reliable used vehicle. It was a tangible sign of progress, a validation of the principles he had embraced. The hum of the office lights no longer defined his reality. The quiet whir of his sander and the scent of fresh wood chips did. Elias's transformation wasn't a sudden explosion of fortune, but a quiet, profound shift. The relentless grip of anxiety eased, replaced by a deep-seated confidence. He no longer felt like a victim of circumstances, but a creator of his own path. His small apartment workshop, once a cramped corner, slowly expanded, filled with tools and the rich aroma of various woods. He faced new challenges, difficult clients, unexpected material shortages, the occasional botched project, but his approach had fundamentally changed. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, he saw each setback as another opportunity to apply persistence, to refine his definite purpose. He realized that the power to change his life wasn't out there in some mythical solution. It was within him, in his daily habits, in his unwavering commitment to his vision. His story, in many ways, is the story of countless individuals who have found their own way through struggle. The truth he discovered, the simple yet profound power of a definite purpose and persistent action, still shapes lives today. It's not about grand gestures or overnight miracles, but about the quiet, consistent choices made when no one is watching. It's about understanding what you truly want, and then, with unwavering resolve, taking the next simple step and then the next. The path to a transformed life, to a richer, more fulfilling existence, often begins with the simplest shift in focus, a single, definite purpose that becomes the unwavering compass of your journey. The next step is closer than you think.